From an old family lake house in country Idaho to the Hollywood sign covered in bras she made herself, this is the wildest, most unlikely, and most amazing success story of the most famous actress of our time. The place where Sydney Sweeney grew up is not a place most people have ever visited or thought much about. The northern part of Idaho is a thin strip of land that sticks out between Washington and Montana. It is a place filled with thick forests, mountain lakes, and mountains that look like a painting. It is far away from big cities. It is truly beautiful. It is, in almost every way, the exact opposite of Hollywood. Sydney Bernice Sweeney was born on September 12, 1997, in Spokane, Washington, a medium-sized city right on the Washington-Idaho border, but she grew up across that border in the country, in northern Idaho, in a house by a lake that her family had lived in for 5 generations in a row. Think about that for a second. 5 generations in one house. There are pictures on those walls of people who built the town, people who farmed the land before anyone in the family had even heard of movies or TV. Her family's roots are so deep, they feel like they are part of the earth itself. Her parents were Lisa and Stephen Sweeney. Lisa was a lawyer who defended people in court, a hard, stressful job that shows she was strong and good at arguing. Stephen worked in hotels and restaurants. Together, they raised Sydney and her younger brother Trent in a home focused on religion, being outdoors, and a strong belief in trying and loving as many things as possible. Her parents told her to try everything. She listened. By the time she reached middle school, Sydney had played soccer, done ballet, gone skiing, learned to wakeboard, played a little golf, and trained in fighting sports. Everyone agreed she was a natural athlete who could easily use her skills in any new sport. She was also, surprisingly, a math nerd. She was in a school club called Math is Cool and joined her school's robot building team. She went to St. George's School in Spokane, where she was known as a student who worked extremely hard and seemed to have more energy than everyone around her. None of this points toward Hollywood. She did not have actor parents, friends in the movie business, or cousins in acting, except a very distant tie to an actor named Robert Vaughn, which was so far back it barely mattered. Sydney grew up in a world where making movies was something that happened far away to different kinds of people, in a totally different kind of life. And then a zombie movie came to Spokane. The details have been told many times, but they are still amazing. A small movie was filming in the area. The filmmakers needed background actors. Sydney, who was about 11 or 12 years old at the time, went to try out. She didn't go because she had big dreams of being famous, but because the chance was right there in her hometown. And she was the kind of kid who took every chance she got. She showed up, stood in front of the camera, and something happened. She doesn't say it felt like a sudden flash of magic, but she knew. Whatever it was that she did in front of the camera, it felt right. It felt like what she was meant to do. The math side of her brain, the part that had joined a robot team and made 5-year business plans before most kids her age had finished their homework, started planning right away. She went home. She made a plan. She showed it to her parents. "My parents gave up so much to support my dream," she told a magazine years later, "and they lost so much doing it. I just felt a need to show them that it was worth it." That strong need to prove their hard work was worth it kept Sydney going for the next 10 years. It pushed her through the years of getting no jobs, through huge money problems, through cheap motels, tiny acting roles, and the people in charge of hiring who told her she didn't have the right look for TV. The plan called for acting tryouts. That meant going to the places where tryouts happened: Seattle, Portland, and later Los Angeles. So the Sweeneys got in a car. Before the family decided to move for good, Sydney and whoever was free, often her mother, sometimes the whole family, would drive hours south to Seattle and Portland, where she started getting jobs in commercials. These were not fancy trips. There were no nice hotels or extra money for food. There There was just the car, the tryout, and the drive back. Sometimes they drove all night to save money on hotel rooms. The family moved to Oregon for a short time to make the drive easier, but it became very clear that if Sydney was serious about acting, and she was completely serious, deep down in her bones, there was only one place this could work: Los Angeles. The move to Los Angeles happened when Sydney was about 13 years old, and it broke the family. Not right away, and not all at once, but in the way money problems break things. Slowly, then all of a sudden. Stephen Sweeney lost his job around the time of the 2008 money crash, a tough time that ruined life for millions of American families. The cost of living in one of the most expensive cities in the world, just hoping a teenage girl would get enough jobs to pay for it all, was too much to handle. "We lived in one room," Sydney told The Hollywood Reporter. "My mum and I shared a bed, and my dad and little brother shared a couch. That room was in a motel. The family, parents, daughter, son, squeezed into a single motel room in Los Angeles. These details matter because they are so different from the fancy, perfect look Hollywood tries to show. This was not a trip paid for with a lot of money. This was a family risking everything on one chance." And then the marriage ended. Lisa and Stephen Sweeney divorced a few years later, right when Sydney's career was just starting to get going. The money stress of the move, the job loss, and the years of being almost broke had hurt them deeply. The family that drove all night to get to Sydney's tryouts would not stay together to see her success. Sydney would later talk about this time with a deep honesty that makes people like her so much. She doesn't pretend the struggle was pretty. She doesn't make it sound like a cheesy movie where hard times just make you stronger. She is honest about how hard it was, and more importantly, about how much it cost the people who helped her succeed. "I had no idea getting into this business how many people already know someone," she told The Hollywood Reporter. "I started from the very bottom, and I know how extremely hard it is. This is not a woman who forgot her past. This is a woman who remembers every part of it." The other thing that happened during this time, which is rarely told in fancy magazine stories, is that Sydney was bullied so badly in middle school that the police had to get involved. The bullying was part of what sped up the family's choice to move to Los Angeles for good. It wasn't just about her acting career, it was also about escaping a place that had become truly unsafe. Whatever happened in middle school, it was bad enough that they needed the cops. She doesn't talk about this often, but knowing it happened, knowing that this highly driven young woman was also being bullied so badly that the police were called, adds another side to the story. Sydney Sweeney was not just a girl with big dreams, she was also a kid who needed a way out. Hollywood wasn't just a goal, it was also a safe place.
What are the challenges of actress Sydney Sweeney?
There is a story Sydney Sweeney has told in many interviews. Someone who worked in the movie business said it to her when she first moved to Los Angeles. A person who hires actors looked at her and basically said her look would stop her from getting a job on TV. Think about that for a moment. An expert whose whole job is to spot talent looked at Sydney Sweeney, who would later get 2 big award nominations at the exact same time, and said, "The way you look is the problem. Not your acting skills, not your hard work, your face, your body, and the exact way you look." She has never said the person's name. She has not tried to embarrass them in public, but she has never forgotten it either, because it is the kind of thing you don't forget. It is the kind of thing that either breaks you or becomes exactly what you fight against. For Sydney Sweeney, she chose to fight. There is also this. Right before one of the biggest tryouts of her life, her agent told her not to bother sending in a video. The team hiring for the show had already decided she was not right for the part. She sent a video anyway. They gave her the job. She has lived by that same rule ever since. The rule says that a boss's opinion is just an opinion. The only way to know what you can do is to try, and you haven't lost a tryout until you give up and don't go. Deep down, this is not a fancy way of thinking. It is not not about being naturally gifted. It is not about fate. It is about refusing to believe other people when they tell you what you can't do. It is about seeing a closed door as a question, not a final answer. She used her mother to help record her tryout videos. This detail comes up a lot in her story, and it is worth thinking about. In the years before the big parts, the awards, and the money, Sydney's acting partner and first crowd was her mum. They would sit together in a living room, a motel room, or wherever they were that week. Her mum, Lisa, used to be a lawyer who knew how to build a strong case. She would read the other parts out loud, giving her daughter someone to act with. There are worse places to learn how to act. Sydney's first time on TV was in 2009, when she was 12 years old, in a tiny part on the sci-fi show Heroes. She also acted in an episode of Criminal Minds that year. These were small roles, barely noticeable, the kind of thing no one puts in their best of videos, and that you have to scroll far down a webpage to find. But they were real jobs, real time on real movie sets, and real experience she was building up. For the next 10 years, she had the kind of career no one makes a movie about. Steady, plain, and often unseen work that pays the bills, but never makes people talk about you. She had small parts on 90210 in 2010, a minor role in John Carpenter's scary movie The Ward 2010 with Amber Heard and Jared Harris, a real movie in theaters but nothing that got people talking enough to change her career. Grey's Anatomy in 2014, Pretty Little Liars in 2017. She was acting in the right shows. She was getting better at acting, but she was not becoming famous.
Was Sydney Sweeney in Grey's Anatomy? Yes, I was. I remember this day so clearly. My mom and I were on set together, and it was our favorite show that we would watch together. So we were pinching ourselves, and we were really nervous and really excited. One of those roles where you get one line, but it's the biggest thing ever to you at the time, so you're just over the moon. That was it. I was there for a day. That was all.
Show business is full of people who did exactly what Sydney did during this time, worked all the time, got better, showed up, took small parts, and never made it big. The line between 10 years of small jobs and becoming a star is very thin. To cross it, you need talent, good timing, hard work, and luck. There is no set rule to make it happen. Since Sydney was a hard worker, she was not going to just wait around and hope to get lucky. During this time, she went to Brighton Hall School in Burbank, California, and graduated at the top of her class, the very top. She did this while trying out for parts, acting on TV, and dealing with the mental stress of being a teenager in show business. She then went to college at UCLA for a short time. She kept busy. She made a thick notebook of details for every role she played. She called it an interactive book. It was a whole made-up world for the person she was playing on screen. She was finding her own way to act. Then, while filming The Handmaid's Tale in 2018, she made a choice most actors would never make. She started taking business classes. She didn't do it because someone told her to, not because her manager told her to. She did it because she had seen enough of the movie business to know people get tricked if they don't understand legal papers and money. If they didn't know what they were signing or what their work was worth, they lost out. She was not going to let that happen to her. "You will always be the number one person looking out for yourself," she said. She was in her early 20s. She hadn't become a star yet. She was studying business in her free time while filming a Hulu show because she was already planning for her future. Looking back, 2018 was the last year before everything changed. She had 3 big parts that year. She played Eden Spencer on The Handmaid's Tale. She had a role in HBO's highly praised show Sharp Objects with Amy Adams, and she was the main star in Netflix's teen show Everything Sucks. The actors in The Handmaid's Tale were nominated for a big award. Reviewers loved Sharp Objects. Everything Sucks was cancelled after 1 season, which hurt but didn't ruin her career. Variety magazine noticed her work. The magazine later wrote that her acting proved she was great at completely changing herself for different roles, pointing out her skilled acting in The Handmaid's Tale tale, everything sucks, and sharp objects. She could become anyone. She could blend into any character. She was building a list of acting jobs that proved, quietly but clearly, that she could do much more than any one role had asked her to do. The question was, would anyone give her the chance to prove it?
At some point, you make a choice about who you are and what you want.
In June 2019, HBO started showing Euphoria. It is hard to explain just how much Euphoria changed pop culture, or the weird, uneasy space it filled. Made by Sam Levinson and based on an Israeli show with the same name, Euphoria was not a normal teen show. It was harsh. It was beautiful. It showed a lot of sex and deep sadness. It looked so pretty that it felt like art. At the exact same time, it felt like something you shouldn't be watching. Drug overdoses, naked scenes, intense violence, honest looks at mental illness and sexual pain. Euphoria put all of this on the screen without saying sorry. Somehow, it all came together to feel very real, almost in a scary way. It became the second most watched HBO show ever, behind only Game of Thrones. It wasn't just liked by a small group of people, it was a massive hit that everyone talked about. And Sydney Sweeney was told she shouldn't even try out for it. The person in charge of picking actors for Euphoria, according to Sydney's story in The Hollywood Reporter, did not think she was right for the part of Cassie Howard. Sydney's agent had other actors who had tried out for the part and was willing to give Sydney the script. The unsaid message was clear: don't waste your time. Sydney filmed a video of herself anyway. She read the lines with her mother. She sent it to the Euphoria team without going through the normal tryout steps. They gave her the job right away. The part of Cassie Howard is one of the hardest acting jobs on TV today. Cassie is a teenager who is known for sleeping with a lot of people. Her father left her family. She uses attention from boys to feel good enough, and she is falling apart because of how other people see her. With a worse actor, she would just be a boring warning or a stereotype. But with Sydney Sweeney acting, she is something much more upsetting and much more touching. A very real person making awful choices for reasons we can all understand. The naked scenes in Euphoria caused a huge amount of attention and talk. Some of the talk was smart, but much of it was shallow. Sydney Sweeney's body became something everyone talked about in a way that was truly weird and often uncomfortable. She spoke about it very honestly. "I was shy at first because I've never done anything like that before," she said about being naked on camera. The thing about the nakedness in this show is that it's not made to look pretty or perfect. And later, sounding more annoyed, people forget that I'm playing a character. They think, oh, she gets naked on TV, she's just a sex object. And I can't get past that. I have no problems with those scenes, and I won't stop doing them, but I wish there was an easier way to talk openly about what we assume about actors in this business. The talk about Sydney Sweeney's body would go on for years and get much stronger in ways she could not have guessed. It was already becoming its own tiring issue. The famous movie maker Quentin Tarantino also noticed her acting in Euphoria. In 2019, he picked her to play Snake, a member of Charles Manson's group, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, his huge, bright movie honoring late 1960s Los Angeles. It was a small part in a giant award-winning movie, but it put her next to big stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie. She was on movie sets run by the best movie makers in the business, and she learned everything she could.
Hey everyone, we are back on set, and I'm gonna show you guys around.
The year 2021 should have been a time to celebrate. Euphoria had made Sydney Sweeney famous. Her face was everywhere. She was the kind of actor that movie makers were calling. But here's the problem with being famous for playing the character Cassie Howard. People wanted to hire her to play Cassie Howard again. There's always people who see me as Cassie or see me as Olivia. she said later. They send me scripts that are exactly like that. The White Lotus was not like that. It was a very funny and very dark HBO show about rich people at a fancy Hawaiian hotel. The character of Olivia Mossbacher, a mean, rich college student who acts smarter than everyone else, notices everything but somehow cannot see how cruel she is, was nothing like Cassie Howard. She was cooler, colder, funnier, and harder to like. Sydney wanted the part. The show's creators did not want Sydney at first. They didn't think that I was right for White Lotus because I did Euphoria, she said. So I filmed myself. I tried out for White Lotus just like everybody else, and they asked me to come back for a second try just like everybody else. She got the part. She played Olivia as naturally smart and a bit cold-blooded, which was totally different from everything she had done before. The show was a huge hit, dark, funny, and very honest about money, spoiled rich people, and the fake happiness they show off to each other. In July 2022, the Emmy Award choices were announced. Sydney Sweeney was picked for 2 of them, Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for Euphoria and Best Supporting Actress in a Miniseries for The White Lotus. In the same year, for 2 totally different characters on 2 totally different shows. She did not win either award, but just being picked was such a big deal that she didn't need a trophy to prove her success. This was also the year people learned about Sydney's money, or rather, the difference between how famous she was and how much money she actually had. In an interview with a magazine called The Hollywood Reporter, she was surprisingly honest about what 2 Emmy choices and being one of the most famous actors in the world actually meant for her bank account. If I wanted to take a 6-month break, I don't have the money to pay for that, she said. She wasn't just feeling sorry for herself, she was pointing out real problems in the acting business. Her agents, managers, lawyers, and PR people all take a cut of her pay. Also, streaming apps have changed the rules, so actors don't make money from reruns anymore. Finally, actor pay hasn't gone up to match how much money and attention stars like her bring in. They don't pay actors like they used to, she said, and with streaming apps, you no longer get paid when people re-watch your shows. This was a woman up for 2 big awards saying she could not afford to take a vacation. It was shocking to hear, but it made a lot of sense to working actors, to people in other jobs facing the same money problems, and to anyone who knew that success often looks better from the outside than it feels on the inside. The other thing that happened in 2022 was the panic attacks. I was losing my mind, she told the magazine. She talked about a time when panic attacks happened so fast and so often that she thought she was dying. She was 24 years old, up for 2 big awards, and feeling the heavy mental stress of 10 years of hard work finally paying off. But the work didn't stop. The job offers kept coming. Being successful just meant she had to keep going faster. I don't sleep, she said. Back in 2020, she had also started her own movie-making business called 50/50 Films. Her goal was clear: to give more chances to female writers and movie makers. The name, 50/50, showed exactly what she wanted to do. She wasn't going to just sit back and accept the unfair rules of the movie business. She was going to change them the only way she knew how, by doing the work herself.
It's that pretty little Phyllis, Sydney Sweeney, dancing a hoedown at her mama's 60th before she realized she lassoed herself a big old controversy. Yeehaw!
If Sydney Sweeney's growing fame was already made hard by the constant, tiring talk about her body and her love life, 2022 added a whole new problem: politics. In August of that year, pictures from her mother's 60th birthday party showed up online. The party seemed to be all about American flags. Some guests wore red hats that said, "Make 60 great again," a joke based on the MAGA catchphrase. One person wore a Blue Lives Matter shirt shirt. The internet, which has an amazing ability to turn pictures without the full story into absolute truth, went completely crazy right away. Sydney posted on X, "You guys, this is wild." That was pretty much her whole answer. She did not speak out against the pictures. She did not support them either. She looked at the huge drama with real confusion and made one short, annoyed comment. As it turned out, this was not enough for anyone on any side of the argument. The internet wanted her to either loudly reject the party or proudly support it. She would not do either. The anger went on for months without ever really ending. It set the stage for where Sydney Sweeney would find herself for the next few years. A famous person who refused to join any political group but was dragged into all of them by force and without her permission. The weird part was that in just 2 years, she had gone from being praised as a hero for women, for playing Cassie Howard with such real feeling, and for speaking out about how men view women in movies, to being accused of being a conservative. She had not done anything to change her mind. Her point of view was basically, "I am an actress, not a symbol, and I am not your political mascot." This way of thinking, it turned out, was not okay at all with anyone. In March 2024, Sydney hosted Saturday Night Live. Her opening speech was funny, and she seemed very sure of herself. She talked about the political drama with a joke that people loved. "I am so tired of the political labels. I'm not red or blue, I'm nude." Conservative writers loved her on the show. Liberal writers looked closely at her jokes for hidden meanings. The National Post, a conservative Canadian newspaper, wrote a story asking if her body meant the end of woke culture. A conservative writer posted on Twitter about the end of wokeness next to a video that zoomed in on her body in a gross way. "This weird relationship that people have with me that I have no control over," she called it. She could not have been more right.
I've got to tell you about the new Water Bank Cream Moisturizer from Laneige.
While people on the internet argued about her beliefs and her looks, Sydney Sweeney was quietly building a big business. In 2023, she became a spokesperson for Armani Beauty and Laneige. She made deals to work with Miu Miu, Samsung, Ford, Baskin-Robbins, Cotton On, and Guess. In the business world, she was very easy to sell. Companies loved her for a few reasons. She was a good actor, she was popular online, she looked great, and she didn't fit into just one box. She was a perfect choice for brands because people talked about her a lot, but she never got into trouble. Her deal with Ford showed who she really is. Sydney didn't just tell people to buy cars, she helped design a special 2024 Ford Mustang. This made sense because Sydney had been fixing up old cars since the pandemic. Back then, she bought a 1969 Ford Bronco and started fixing it to help herself relax. After that, she fixed up a light blue 1965 Ford Mustang. She even made a TikTok account just for her car work. She wasn't just a famous person getting paid to talk about cars. She was a real car lover who just happened to be famous. Also, in 2023, a magazine chose her for the Forbes 30 Under 30 list for famous people. She was in the Rolling Stones music video for their main song, Angry. When some people said the video treated her like an object, she stood up for it. She said it actually made her feel strong, to be proud of her body. She also starred in a movie called Reality. It was a great, intense movie about the FBI arresting a woman named Reality Winner for sharing secret information. The movie was shown at a big film festival in Berlin. It clearly showed just how amazing Sydney could act when given a tough role. The reviews for Reality were very important for her career. One magazine called her the real deal. Another wrote that her acting was so believable you forgot about her past roles. She wasn't acting like her old characters, Cassie or Olivia. This was totally different. Her acting was deeply careful and exact. Every word she said and every tiny look on her face was planned perfectly. It showed she worked very hard at her acting skills, rather than just guessing what to do. She was also making her own movies. She starred in and helped make the funny love story Anyone But You, which came out late in 2023. It became a huge hit in theaters. It was was the kind of fun movie that Hollywood had a hard time making since the pandemic. The movie didn't cost much to make, but it earned over $220 million around the world. It proved to movie makers that Sydney could be the main star of a big movie, not just a popular TV show. The movie was pure fun. It was a light, sexy, and very happy romantic comedy, just like the great ones from the 1990s. You could see how much fun she had making it. Then came her 2024 movie, Immaculate. This movie was completely different. It was a scary movie set in a church in Italy. Sydney played an innocent American nun who finds out her new church is hiding very evil secrets. She helped make this movie too. The film is famous for its final scene, where she had to scream and cry without stopping. It was very hard work for her body, but she acted with scary focus. The movie wasn't perfect, but it was truly scary. Most importantly, it proved what reality had already shown. Sydney is an actor who is not afraid to play very dark and upsetting roles.
Hey, come on. Get your stuff. Let's go.
Not everything can be reality or anyone but you. Not every movie can be a big hit. Madam Web came out in February 2024, and almost everyone who reviewed it agreed it was a total disaster. The Sony Spider-Man movies had already made some bad films, but Madam Web was much worse. It was confusing, it was not fun, and the story made no sense. The reviews were very harsh. The movie made hardly any money. Sydney Sweeney was in it. She played a character named Julia Cornwall. She was part of a group of actors that also included Dakota Johnson, who acted like she didn't care about being there at all. Tahar Rahim was also in it, but strangely, another voice was recorded over his later, even though he speaks English perfectly well. Sydney's reaction to the movie doing so badly was a great example of how to handle things politely. "I was just hired as an actress in it," she said, "so I was just along for the ride for whatever was going to happen." She didn't say mean things about the movie. She didn't try too hard to defend it either. She simply admitted that the movie did poorly without going into details, and she calmly moved on. She acted like someone who had already learned that not every movie will work out. She knew that you can try your absolute hardest and still end up in a bad movie, and that the best thing you can do is just get back in the car and drive to your next acting job. It was, in its own way, very down to earth, very Idaho.
You must be the lady I've been hearing so much about.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to meet you, Mr. King.
Out of all the movies Sydney Sweeney has made, Christy, the 2025 true story about pro boxer Christy Martin, might be the hardest one to simply label or ignore. Christy Martin is one of the most amazing people in pro boxing history. She was one of the first female boxers to become famous for her hard-hitting style and her ability to sell a lot of tickets. She also lived through a terrible attack. In 2010, her husband and coach James Martin stabbed and shot her, leaving her to die. She lived, got better, returned to boxing, and finally found a way to rebuild her life. Her story is amazing and very hard to tell well. Sydney Sweeney did not do this movie just to look good. She put on muscle. She trained hard and long to really understand boxing. She didn't just learn the moves, she learned the pain, the real body hits, and how fighting changes your body and how you feel in your own skin. She went through a huge hair and makeup change, as news reports said, to look like someone totally different from herself. People loved her acting, but the movie did not make money. Christy only made about $1.3 million in its first weekend. That number is so low for a big movie that it set a bad new record. Movie reviewers mostly agreed that Sweeney's acting was the best part of the film. They felt she did did something really great and changed herself completely, but that the movie itself wasted her hard work. And then, in December 2025, the award lists came out. Sydney Sweeney was not on the Golden Globe list. She was not on the Critics' Choice list. Because reviewers loved her acting so much, people noticed she was left out. A lot of people talked about it, and they talked about it loudly. Writers made lists of the biggest award mistakes of the year, and her name was near the top of almost all of them. Was it because the movie lost money? Was it because of the political arguments people were having about her? Was it the built-up anger of a movie business that never really knew what to do with someone who wouldn't fit into their normal boxes? It was probably all three, in different amounts, on different days. She handled it like she handles most things. She didn't look crushed, and she didn't make big, dramatic speeches. She stayed calm and steady. She is a woman who has been told she wasn't right for a part too many times to let an award group's choice break her.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
The summer of 2025 showed Sydney Sweeney what happens when society gets worried and takes all its stress out on one person. In July, she was in an ad for American Eagle called "Sydney Sweeney Has Great Genes," a play on words about denim pants and human DNA. The ad was simple. Sweeney, a very blonde and blue-eyed woman, wore jeans, with a joke about her body's traits. Within days, some people on social media decided the ad was secretly supporting racism. Their thinking went like this: blonde plus blue-eyed plus great genes equals a hidden message for hate groups. The ad became a massive firestorm. As The Hollywood Reporter called it, college professors shared their thoughts. The news covered it constantly. Even Donald Trump and people who worked for him talked about the drama. At first, Sydney said nothing. Later, she admitted this was a mistake. Staying quiet wasn't necessarily wrong, but it gave people room to guess and make up bad rumors about her. At the same time, news came out that Sydney had signed up as a Republican in Florida in June 2024. Many news reporters checked public voting records, which proved she was signed up to vote as a Republican in Monroe County. As you might expect, this caused total chaos. Right-wing news praised her. Left-wing news felt their worst fears were proven true. Fox News happily pushed her as a hero for their side. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney was just living her life. She was living in the body she was born in, making acting choices she liked, and being used as a blank wall where everyone else threw their own fears. She finally spoke up, telling People magazine, "I don't agree with the beliefs some people attach to the ad. People put labels on me and said I had bad reasons for doing it, but that just isn't true. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and keeping people apart." She also explained a basic truth. In the past, my rule was to never answer good or bad news about me, but lately, I have learned that staying quiet about this issue has only pushed people further apart, not brought them together. This was a real change in how she dealt with the public. She admitted her old way of ignoring the drama wasn't working anymore because the drama had gotten too loud. She wasn't giving in, she was just learning how to handle things better. American Eagle was happy with how the ad did and said they plan to work with Sweeney again. No matter what people on the internet thought the ad meant, it sold a lot of clothes. People have been talking about the same thing regarding Sydney Sweeney since she started acting. She clearly finds this talk tiring, even though she still answers questions about it openly. It is the talk about her body. More exactly, it is about her curvy body, having big breasts, as she puts it. The entertainment world and the news media often do not know how to talk about her body without being insulting, treating her like an object, or just being silly. She has talked talked about this in magazines like Glamour UK and The Hollywood Reporter and in countless interviews. But the talk never really ends because the problem itself never ends. Especially when it comes to red carpet pics and they're like, Sydney Sweeney displays bust or Sydney Sweeney wears a scandalous dress. I'm like, I'm wearing the exact same dress someone else would be wearing. I just have breasts, she told Glamour. And if someone else is wearing it, they'd be like, oh, so sleek and so well-mannered. Just because I have breasts, it doesn't change. This makes perfect sense. But when she points this out, it creates more news stories, which causes more reactions. This just adds another layer to the talk she was trying to stop in the first place. It shows how confusing and endless being famous today can be. She once said that in high school, she felt so bad about her body that she wanted a surgery to make her breasts smaller at age 18. She didn't do it. Instead, she found a way to accept and own her body. She didn't do this to please men or put on a show for others, but to be true to herself. Flaunt what you got, own it, love them, she said. Then she started CERN, her own underwear brand. In January 2026, to help sell her products, she hung dozens of bras over the Hollywood sign. At 6 in the morning, she climbed up there herself, in the dark, before most of Los Angeles was awake. She covered one of the most famous signs in the world, with underwear showing her brand's name. It was bold and funny. If you know her, it was also exactly what you would expect. Sydney Sweeney does not pay someone else to put bras on the Hollywood sign. She puts the bras on the Hollywood sign herself before the sun comes up because that is just who she is. The smart business skills she learned while taking classes during The Handmaid's Tale can be seen in everything she does. Her company, 50/50 Films, has now made several big movies and shows. She has set up deals that let her make the creative choices while also earning good money. She has said clearly that she would rather make less money right now so she can own a piece of what she creates. She does this because she has seen what happens to actors who don't. At 28, she is one of the smartest business minds in Hollywood. This is no accident. It comes from 10 years of teaching herself, starting when she was a 12-year-old who wrote a business plan and meant every word of it.
Like, we truly had an amazing experience together.
I want to keep that fun alive.
Like everything else about her, people watch Sydney Sweeney's personal life very closely, but they still only see part of it. In 2018, she started dating Jonathan Davino, a Chicago businessman in the restaurant business. This was the same year she became wildly famous. They were together for 4 years before getting engaged in 2022. From what everyone says, she really liked that Davino was not an actor. He wasn't part of Hollywood, and he kept her tied to the real world. They made movies together, including Anyone But You and Immaculate. She called him her producing partner and her fiancé. This showed they were a real team who shared both their work and their personal lives. In early 2025, they broke up. The breakup was quiet, with very little drama. There was no big public announcement, no fighting on social media, and no messy news stories. They were simply over, and both of them stayed respectful. Since Sydney had been with Davino while she was becoming a huge star, the breakup must have been a hard adjustment for her. By the middle of 2025, she started dating Scooter Braun. He is a music manager who worked with Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. He is also known for getting a lot of negative attention after a big public fight with Taylor Swift over the rights to her older songs. Braun had stopped managing stars in late 2023 to focus on his family. When he started dating one of Hollywood's biggest stars, it became a huge gossip story. Whatever the exact details of their relationship are, she once again chose someone who is not an actor. Like Davino, Braun has his own success outside of the acting world. This makes sense for what Sydney seems to want in a partner. She is most comfortable with people who are not competing with her. She likes partners who do not compare themselves to her fame and who do not force her to put on a fake show for the cameras like many celebrity couples do.
We had to make a choice about who we were and what we wanted.
In April 2026, Euphoria came back for its third season, and Sydney Sweeney returned to play Cassie Howard. The show had been stuck in the planning stages for years. After season 2, creator Sam Levinson faced a lot of anger over how he ran the set. Also, schedule changes kept pushing filming back, and the loss of cast members meant the story had to completely change. By the time the third season finally came out, fans were extremely excited. After waiting and wondering for so long, fans were especially eager to see Sydney come back. In the first 2 seasons, her character Cassie went through a very hard mental journey. She started as a girl who cared too much about what others thought and became someone who made terrible, harmful choices because she desperately needed love. Where would she be now? What would she have become? The third season was also the last season. After playing Cassie for 6 years, Sydney was closing a chapter that made her famous. The role was both a great gift and something that held her back. In interviews right before the new season started, it was clear she felt free now that Cassie's story was finally over. Also, in 2026, it was announced she would play Kim Novak, a famous blonde actress from early Hollywood, in a romance movie called Scandalous, directed by Coleman Domingo. This casting made perfect sense. Sydney is a modern blonde actress who often gets judged by the public just for how she looks. Now she is playing an actress from the past who dealt with the exact same issues, made even worse by how mean the movie industry was in the 1950s and 1960s. She is also still set to star in Gundam, a movie based on the popular Japanese sci-fi series. This will be her biggest action movie so far. Her path is clear. She is not slowing down or playing it safe. She is trying new things, finding harder challenges, and taking bigger risks. She is doing what she has always done, believing in herself before anyone else does.
Oh my god, these are so cute.
Hi!
Let's talk about what makes Sydney Sweeney truly special, because it is not what most news stories focus on. It is not her looks, even though she is very beautiful. It is not her fame, even though she is very famous. It is not even her talent, even though she has a lot of it. It is the exact mix of smarts, knowing herself well, bravery, and being open about her feelings that she brings to everything she does. Her career, her business, public drama, personal relationships, all of it. Just look at all the facts together. At 12, she makes a business plan. At 13, she moves into a motel room with her family because her dream requires it. She is bullied so badly that the police have to help, and she gets through it. She spends 10 years getting tiny acting jobs and learning everything she can from them. She goes to business school on her own without being told to because she knows that learning keeps her safe. She writes a whole background story for every character she plays because she knows acting takes careful planning, not just making things up on the spot. She tries out for roles people tell her to skip, and she gets them. She fights being put in a box by taking roles nobody expects her to play, and she wins those fights. She starts a movie company and makes movies nobody else is making. She fixes up cars on TikTok because she really loves cars. She starts an underwear brand and shows it off by hanging bras over the Hollywood sign early in the morning because she is Sydney Sweeney and she does things herself. She has panic attacks and talks about them openly. She says she can't afford a vacation and explains exactly why, because fixing the big problems in the acting business matters more to her than pretending everything is easy. She is told her looks will hold her back, and instead of giving up, she goes home and tries out anyway. She is told she isn't right for the role of Cassie Howard, but she sends her audition tape anyway. She is told she isn't right for Olivia Mossbacher because she played Cassie Howard, but she tries out anyway. She has never stopped trying out for roles, not even when she became super famous, not even with the award nominations, the big ads, the $3 million house in Los Angeles, and having $40 million in the bank. Deep down, she has stayed the 12-year-old girl in country Idaho who saw a camera and thought, I can do that. She also has an amazing ability to take harsh words without letting them ruin her. The Madam Web failure did not break her. The American Eagle drama did not break her. Being ignored during award season did not break her. The years of being told she wasn't right for something did not break her. What would have broken most people? What has broken many people in show business, people with way more money and helpful friends than she started with, seems to have passed right through her without stopping her. This does not mean she never gets hurt. She has talked about her panic attacks. She has talked about being totally exhausted. She has talked about the heavy duty she felt toward her parents, the hard things they gave up for her, and their marriage that ended while chasing her dream. She feels all of it. She does not shut her feelings off. She is just the kind of person who feels everything deeply and keeps moving forward anyway. There is a word for this, and it is not tough. A word that has been used so much it means almost nothing now. The right word is probably unstoppable. She is unstoppable because every person or thing that has tried to tell her what she can't do has eventually been proven wrong. Here is a quick look at two members of Sydney Sweeney's family because they help show who she really is. The first is her brother, Trent. He is younger, quieter, and stays out of the Hollywood spotlight. Trent went on many of those early, hard road trips for her acting tryouts. He was there for the long drives to LA and the nights sleeping in small rooms. He was part of everything the family gave up for his sister's dream. In 2020, he joined the United States Air Force. He chose his own path and worked just as hard at it as his sister worked at acting. He has also worked in movies as an actor and behind the camera. Sydney talks about him with a lot of love and respect. Everyone says he is one of her biggest supporters. The second is Robert Vaughn. He was a famous actor who starred in movies like The Magnificent Seven and Bullet. He was a true Hollywood star who died in 2016. He and Sydney are distant relatives. They were not close, and he did not really shape her career. But it is interesting to know that someone else in her family tree also knew exactly what to do in front of a camera. Then there are her parents. Her father, Stephen Sweeney, gave up a lot for her dream. Because of the stress, his marriage ended and he lost his money. Sydney says he now lives on a ranch in Mexico without internet or cell phone service. She knows he is proud of her. She says he is amazed by her life now, even though he watches from far away and they don't talk much. Their father-daughter story has its own special kind of sadness and love. Her mother, Lisa Sweeney, used to be a lawyer. She practiced lines with Sydney for her Euphoria tryout and shared a motel bed with her when they had no money. Lisa is talked about much more in Sydney's life story. It was Lisa's 60th birthday party that started a big argument online about politics. Many people would say that Sydney got her strength straight from her mother. Every story about a famous person brings up a big question, but this question hangs over Sydney Sweeney's story even more heavily because her life is clearly torn between two very different worlds: northern Idaho and Los Angeles, an old family lake house and a $3 million LA mansion, the country kid who made a business plan, and the worldwide star who has bras hanging from the Hollywood sign. The question is, what does she really want? Who is she deep down? Based on what she says and does, the answer seems to be this: she wants to make things she believes in, with people she trusts, and keep control over her work. She wants to go home to Idaho, go out on the lake, and see people who know her as the girl who grew up in that house, not as a character from a TV show. She wants to fix up old cars because working with her hands feels real. The grease, the engine parts, and the joy of making something broken work again give her balance. It is a break from a job that is otherwise just acting and make-believe. In short, she wants to stay true to herself. But that is the hardest thing to do in a business that makes money by creating fake images of people. So far, she has done it, but it hasn't been easy, and it hasn't come for free. She has dealt with panic attacks, money worries, and the tiring reality of being a famous symbol she never asked to become. Still, she has done it. "My parents gave up so much to support my dream, and they lost so much along the way," she said. "I just felt I owed it to them to show that it was worth it. It was worth it. No one can argue with that now, but whether it was worth everything she had to give up is a different question. It probably doesn't have a simple answer. It is a question she likely holds on to in the part of her that still belongs to Idaho, a place Hollywood hasn't touched yet."
You said in interviews that you can function on 2 hours of sleep. You don't drink coffee and you only drink water. Now be honest, do you think you're better than all of us?
One of the most revealing things Sydney Sweeney ever said is this: "I don't sleep." She said this during a time when she was nominated for 2 Emmy Awards at the same time, was filming a movie, Madam Web, in Boston, and was running her own movie company. On top of that, she was working with big brands and dealing with people constantly talking online about her body and her politics. She was 24 years old. She had been working non-stop, harder than most people in Hollywood. Most people work that hard for a few months and then need years to rest. She has done it her whole adult life. But here is the thing: she wasn't complaining when she said, "I don't sleep." She just stated it as a fact. Almost proudly, it is just how she is made. She couldn't do things any other way, even if she tried. She doesn't sleep because she doesn't stop working. She doesn't stop because stopping feels like letting people down. It would feel like letting down herself, her parents, and all those long drives, cheap hotels, and failed auditions that happened before she became famous. She can't keep working this hard forever, and she seems to know it. Her panic attacks were a warning sign. The extreme tiredness she talked about was a warning sign, but knowing you need to change and actually changing are 2 different things. For someone who is used to always moving forward, slowing down probably feels a lot like dying. Instead of slowing down, she has done something very smart. She got highly organized. Rather than just working all the time, she set up her life so that one job does many things at once. Having her own movie company means that when she acts, she is also building a business. Her deals with brands mean she makes money even when she isn't acting. Videos of her fixing cars mean her free time creates videos that keep her in the public eye. She has built a machine, and she is both the builder and the engine. She once said she gets ready for an acting role by making a whole book about the character. She writes down their history, their friends, their thoughts, and every little detail. These details won't be seen on screen, but they help her know exactly how to act. This is not just an actor's trick, it is how a builder works. She builds the base first, making sure it is strong before she even starts to act. Because of this, every character she plays feels real, even if the story is a bit crazy. Think of Cassie Howard's unique way of acting happy while falling apart inside, or Olivia Mossbucker's smart, mean attitude that hides real pain, or reality winner's scary quietness while being questioned by the police, or Christy Martin's exact body language, the way a fighter walks, and the way years of fighting change how a person moves, stands, and holds their face. None of this happens by accident. These are careful choices made by someone who decided to be a pro at age 12 and has never stopped working toward that goal. Here is the most confusing thing about how people treat Sydney Sweeney. They talk about her constantly, but they still don't give her enough credit. People talk too much about her body, her politics, her dating life, her clothes, and her brand deals. She gets a massive amount of attention that has almost nothing to do with her actual acting. The way people talk about her treats her like a symbol or a test for whatever society happens to be worried about that day. People complain that she is too blonde, too curvy, too quiet, too loud, too conservative, too uncaring about politics, too willing to act naked, or too defensive about acting acting naked. The exact complaint changes, but the main problem stays the same. People judge her for what she stands for, not for who she is or what she actually does. She doesn't get enough credit because her real skills are hidden by all the gossip. People ignore how good her acting is, how much smart thought she puts into her characters, and how clever she is at running her business. When people talk about Sydney Sweeney, they treat her like a crazy trend instead of a hard worker. This means the boring, years-long effort of getting really good at a hard job gets lost in all the chatter. The awards she didn't get during the 2025 to 2026 season for a role in Christie that reviewers said was one of the best of the year show this problem perfectly. The great acting was there, the awards were not. This might be because the movie didn't sell enough tickets, people were angry at her politics, or the voters were just stuck in their ways. It is probably a mix of all three, but the result is the same. A great piece of acting didn't get the praise it deserved, and a great actor joined the list of people who are much better than their lack of trophies shows. This happens a lot in Hollywood. The list of actors who should have won awards but didn't is endlessly long. But it is very interesting in Sydney Sweeney's case because she has never acted like she just wants to win prizes. She seems to just want to do the work. She still feels happy about Christie even without the awards. "I am so deeply proud of this movie," she said after it didn't make a lot of money in theaters. "We don't always just make art for numbers, we make it for impact. And Christie has been the most impactful project of my life." That is not a person who confuses winning a prize with doing a good job. What Hollywood still gets wrong about her is that they keep looking for a hidden secret. They want to find the real Sydney Sweeney to explain why she seems like two different people. Someone who makes small, artsy movies, but also big Marvel ones. Someone who speaks up for women, but might vote Republican. Someone who acts naked, but also sells underwear. Someone from a small town in Idaho who wears flashy Hollywood outfits. They keep looking for one simple story that makes sense of who she is. The simple truth is this: she does what she wants to do, and she takes it very, very seriously. The rest is just noise. There is a group of young women, call them Gen Z, Zillennials, or whatever experts are calling them this week, who think Sydney Sweeney is very special and important. She isn't a perfect, flawless role model. Instead, she is something much more useful, a person who is just herself in a world that often punishes people for being real. They watched her character, Cassie Howard, and saw themselves. They didn't relate to Cassie's choices, which are often bad, but to the feelings behind them. They understand Cassie's deep need for guys to like her. They see the difference between who Cassie really is and who the world thinks she is. They relate to how beauty can feel like a trap and how being wanted and being truly understood are two completely different and frustrating things. Sydney Sweeney is literally the easiest actress to relate to, one fan said in a popular post that summed up how many felt. Her role as Cassie in Euphoria hits so close to home. It's like she's acting out all the stuff we've been through but never say out loud. This is Sydney Sweeney's special talent. She shows things we usually keep secret. She makes embarrassing moments feel real. She doesn't try to hide her character's bad choices or make their ugly truths look pretty. She gives her acting everything she has, holding nothing back. Because of this, her characters act like mirrors for the audience, showing us ourselves in a way that safe, perfect acting cannot. She also always talks about things young women go through that Hollywood usually ignores or tries to make look fun. She talks about the money struggles in a job that looks rich and fancy from the outside. She talks about being judged only for her body by people who should be looking at her acting skills. She talks about how tiring it is to fake being brave when you actually feel very unsure. She talks about the unique loneliness of being famous, which is different from normal loneliness but just as real. She doesn't share these things because she is forced to, but to connect with others. She seems to naturally understand that being honest about her own life is the kindest thing she can do for people who are going through similar struggles.
One with the boys.
Sydney Sweeney Body Wash Genie.
Dr. Squatch Body Wash. For men who prefer natural.
As of April 20th, 2026, Sydney Sweeney is 28 years old. She has been nominated for 2 Emmys, has her own movie company, an underwear brand, a hobby of fixing old cars, and tens of millions of dollars. Her career keeps growing and surprising people who thought they had her figured out. She is about to play Kim Novak. She played Cassie Howard again for the last season of Euphoria. She made a movie about a real boxer that reviewers loved, even if not many people watched it. She made a romantic comedy that fans loved, even if some reviewers thought it was just okay. She made a scary movie set in a church, a serious movie about telling the truth, acted in a Quentin Tarantino movie, and showed up in the worst Marvel movie in recent years with a happy and calm attitude. She made it through living in a motel room, a broken family, mean bullies, and 10 years of being told she wasn't right for acting parts. She made it through being nominated for 2 Emmys without winning. She made it through the Madam Web movie failure. She made it through the wild internet panic over her American Eagle clothing ad. She made it through the drama over her family's MAGA birthday party photos, the news that she was a registered Republican, talk about her haircut, and Fox News trying to make her the face of conservative women, which she firmly refused to support or encourage. She started selling a soap made with her bathwater in 2025. Yes, really, teamed up with Dr. Squatch, and the internet went crazy over it, exactly like it was planned. She hung bras on the Hollywood sign before morning. She designed a Mustang car. She put videos of herself fixing cars on TikTok. She changed her body a lot to play a boxer. She has done all of this while still staying true to who she is. A kid from Idaho who thinks that if you want something, you just film yourself practicing lines with your mum and send the video in. We don't know exactly what will happen next for Sydney Sweeney, but the big picture is clear. She will keep working, keep making movies, and keep doing new things that surprise people. People will keep using her as a mirror for their own worries about society. She will keep dealing with it all by being honest, sometimes getting annoyed, but mostly staying calm, like someone who has lived through much harder things than bad news stories. She will probably win an Emmy someday, or an Oscar, or both. Not because Hollywood owes her one, it doesn't, and she knows that, but because she is stubborn, hardworking, and always getting better. Actors like her usually outlast changing trends, political fights, and the back and forth opinions of reviewers. In the end, she will be praised for all the good acting she has done, instead of the drama around her. And somewhere deep in her mind, in the part of her that is still just a girl from an Idaho lake town who made it through everything, the motel rooms, the Emmy losses, the huge internet dramas, and the Hollywood sign bras, there is probably still a 12-year-old looking at a camera, knowing exactly what to do. She was right. She always was. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe for more.